Now the next one is Rose Cottage. Which happens to be in Surrey, in England. Now, Jack is now an adult when he goes there, and he has been asked to go there by his grandfather, who's old Douglas, who featured in the first reading, and he finds a journal which tells him about old Douglas. And I'm not going to give you a spoiler on that, so I'm not going to read that one. So, because that would give it a spoiler. So I'm going to go to the next one, which is called The Residency, which is in India. And this is the first time Jack goes to India. And this one is read by Annie.
Wonderful.
And who's the mother. Aeroplanes have a lot to answer for. It only took us a mere 16 hours to get from the edge of the world to India, smack in the middle. Only a few hours longer than the bus I once caught from Melbourne to Sydney. It hardly gave my time to change my persona, which included my clothing style, my manner of speaking, my opinions, my beliefs, my values, my recent memories, and my name. Not only all that, but I had to tell my 6-year-old that his name was going to be different in India, and he had better learn to pronounce it before we landed. The name Jahandar is tricky for Tasmanian tongues. No problem with Jack. Changing names to fit cultures is common practice. No problem.
Wonderful, wonderful. What a statement. Changing names is not a problem. Great.
Right.
That's the adjustment that the child has shown. Wonderful.
Yes. Then the next one, which I actually think is quite funny, and it was based on a lovely person that I knew in India, or still know in India, who is quite funny and quite direct about talking about things. And Jack has just arrived in India, and her Auntie Arzo, who is that's her name, is arranging a birthday party for her daughter, and she wants Jack to help. And this is the little section. Can I help you with something, Auntie? Thank you, Betta. Could you lift that box on the bed closer to me? From the box, she pulled out a school exercise book. Here, I have made a list of all the people coming to party. I want you to learn their names so you can say them properly and behave with them as if you have known them all your life. You are like my son, Betta, because you are my dead brother's orphan. And she dabbed her eyes with the corner of her dupatta. I'm not an orphan, Auntie Arzo. I have a mother who is very much alive. But where is she, Betta? In Tasmania, you know that. In Tasmania. No one knows Tasmania. These people coming to party, they don't know Tasmania. All your relations here in Delhi and Kabinagar, they don't know Tasmania. Your father is dead. Your mother is in an unheard of place, so you are an orphan.
Wow. So what a definite statement from her, Auntie Arzo.
Yes.
She's very sure of herself.
She is, and that's how she is in person too.
Oh, wonderful!
So, yeah, no, she's great actually. So the next one is the one that is more serious, the one in Brewer Lane, and it is a little bit longer. Is that going to worry you?
No. We still have time.
No? Okay. Now it is near the end, so it is actually heading towards the end of the book. So it's the only serious part that I'm going to read you.
Sure, please go for it.
Okay. Gypsy arrived at View Street the next morning, and we had an hour together. No time for soul-searching chat, and I think that worked for both of us. This is like a house swap, we laughed. After dropping you at the airport, she said, I'll work out my approach with Jack. In Melbourne, the driver of a taxi to which I was directed was a young bloke with an Indian accent who dropped me at Brewer Lane and carried my case to the front door. He was so obliging, I booked him again for the return journey to the airport. When the taxi left and the door was locked, I did not bother checking out Gypsy's house as I normally would have done to see what changes she'd made since buying it from me. I didn't put the case in the bedroom as I normally would have done, didn't hunt for a tea bag and a Tim Tam or look at her overseas artifacts. Instead, I lowered myself to the floor, leant against the wall and stared at the Baltic pine floorboards in the hallway until the spinning subsided. Eventually, I pulled myself up and did an old woman shuffle along the wall with my hands feeling for the doorway to the lounge room with a couch. The spin had started at the airport. I had just disembarked from my Hobart to Melbourne flight and was halfway down the walkway towards the stairs to the luggage carousels when I saw him heading to the gate lounge from where I had just come. Like a startled rabbit, I veered left. I fiddled inside my handbag at a vending machine and did not look over my shoulder until I sensed that he'd passed. When I turned, he was only a few meters away, walking slowly. Even from the back, he looked thinner, slightly stooped, sloppily dressed. I had to stifle the urge to run after him, grab him and whirl him around and ask if he was okay. Tired? Hungry? Older? Would his eyelashes still pierce my heart like tiny spears? And that's the end of that little section.
Wonderful, wonderful. But is that the end of the novel?
No. The oven, Ed, that got that much more. But it's not the end of the novel, no.